Hi everyone, welcome to this session. In this session, we are going to discuss cross-site scripting attack, which is another important topic for the CISSP exam. Before discussing about this attack, let me tell you about the difference between cross-site scripting attack, which also called XSS attack, and CSRF attack. In previous video, we have discussed cross-site request forgery attack in detail, but before moving any further, we need to I need to tell you the difference between this attack and CSRF attack, because when we prepare for the CISP exam and we read about these two attacks, we always get confused. So there is a small difference between these two attacks. Uh, this attack is indirectly attack. I will let you know why it is indirectly attack. Because XSS steals credentials or session cookies first, then the attacker logs in and transfer money. For instance, if attackers steals credentials from the victim for his for his or her bank account credential. So first attacker will steal those credentials or session cookies, and then attacker logs in to the bank account, for instance, and transfers money. But other hand, CSRF is more direct way to steal money because it executes the transaction immediately, because as we discussed in our previous video, that if user or victim is logged in to any website, it could be a bank website, and attacker uses that active session. So therefore that attack is directed attack, but cross-site scripting is indirect attack. So that difference we need to understand um, between these two uh, attacks. Uh, both these both of these cross-site scripting attack scenarios, there could be a multiple scenarios, but we will mainly discuss about um, one scenario here. Um, it could be one scenario could be that attacker um, attacker keeps data or a malicious script on the website, on the bank web server. For instance, when victim or user tries to access that bank server, then if attacker has already kept malicious script or malicious link on the on the bank web server, as soon as victim will access that bank server website, the script will be malicious script will be executed on victim browsers. That could be a one scenario. Another scenario could be that victim or user receives a phishing email with a malicious link, right? So here we will focus on one scenario in this video. How it works. Let's say the victim receives a phishing email. As you can see in this diagram, victim receives a phishing email uh, containing a malicious link, and the victim clicks on the link, right, which opens a fake and compromised website. That means a malicious script executes in the victim browsers, right? The script steals sessions, as you can see, steals sessions, cookie or login credentials and sends them to the attacker. Then the attacker uses the stolen session or credential to log in as the victim and transfer money, right? So only the scenario number one, which we have discussed earlier, attacker can keep malicious script, a malicious link on that particular website which user accesses. And another scenario which we have discussed here, that victim receives an email with malicious link, right? So both are the same thing. The eventually attacker will steal the user's credentials or session cookies, and later, once attacker uh, steals those sessions or credentials, then on behalf of victim he will transfer the money, right? So uh, when the victim receives an email, and victim clicks on that malicious link, and that fake website page will look like the real bank website and capture the victim credential. So how we can avoid it? What are the prevention mechanism in order to avoid this type of attack? First and most important thing, when you receive an email with any link and you are not sure about that email or that link, you are not supposed to click on that. Don't click suspicious email links. That's important. And another thing could be done, use anti-phishing browser extension. Enable multi-factor authentication on your bank account, right? When an attacker tries to access your bank account on your behalf, if multi-factor authentication will be enabled, then you will receive an alert, right? Bank also should implement input validation and CSP to prevent script execution, right? So that is on both sides. So victim and the server side. If you access bank website, then bank should make sure that input validation uh, is enabled, right? So this is how it works, right? As I said, input should be validated. Bank should sanitize and validate user input to prevent script injection, right? As I said, bank should also enable CSP, that means implement content security policy, to block unauthorized script execution. So both methods can be a CSRF, which we have discussed in our previous video, and in the beginning of this video, we discussed the difference between these two attacks. But in both methods can be used to steal money, right? So one is indirect method and another one is direct method. CSRF as user exploited the active session, right? But here first, in cross-site scripting, attacker first steals the credential and then use them, right? So input preventing XSS requires input sanitization, output encoding. Encoding makes sure that if there is any um, input from the user or from the attacker side, it encoding make sure that input is kept in data format, right? And um, this is how we can avoid cross-site scripting. The difference between cross-site scripting and CSRF we have discussed thoroughly in this video. I hope you have understood the difference because it always confuses us. Cross-site request forgery attack and cross-site scripting attack. We need to understand the difference between both attacks. So I hope you have understood about cross-site scripting. If you haven't gone through my previous video, please watch that video first and then this video. You will understand the difference between these two topics. Again, if there is any question, feedback, or you want me to provide more detail on this topic, kindly write in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video.